Good evening, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're doing alright, 'cause it's time for the 48-hour analysis. Basically, in this video, I'm going to look at all the skins of the current Rust store, make comparisons to the previous Rust store skins, to get a good idea in regards to, well, how much are each of these skins likely going to sell by next Thursday, and then knowing that, we'll then question, are these skins still holding up to being perfectly fine investments, or are there any potential problems that you need to be aware of? So sit back, relax, and I'll start yapping. So first 24 hours of sales, I've got to hand it to it. I know not everybody is super keen with the certain skins that are accepted. You can look at Steve over here. Well, actually, no, you can't. My head's just... But anyway, not everybody was super happy with the choices of skins. But in terms of sales, oh, mate, it's really impressive. Like, the average sales for all the skins here is much better compared to all the previous weeks. Like, the third worst selling skin has 7,000 subscribers after the first 24 hours of sales. That's really impressive, all right? So, okay, fair enough. Top selling skin clearly is the Island Assault Team Boots. Is that selling a little bit too much? I'm sure you remember from previous weeks how much the other skins sold for, so that's obviously going to be a talking point. But I'm really surprised to see the transparent crossbow here, Stinger Crossbow, only the third best selling skin. Now I actually want to make a video discussing whether that's going to be alright, whether its sales might be too much, whether it's actually going to work out nicely as an investment in the future. I'll still talk about it in this video. But in terms of showcasings and whatnot, yeah, I might be making a special video talking about that. But I am surprised to see it's only the third best selling skin. Still selling quite a lot though, you know, still fairly close to the top selling skin. So, alright, fair enough, we get it. Should we go ahead now and talk about how the skins are currently after about 2 days? There is a bit of a problem. What might that problem be, Hedge? Well, if we could just, yeah. This has happened before. This might happen for just a few days. The man behind the website, Bipolar Penguin, he is busy at the moment. He can't put all of his time focusing into this website. Obviously, there's been other issues. But this has happened before. It did last for a few days. You can still look at like micro522.com to, you know, keep up to date with the subscriber counts and whatnot. You can also, you know, specifically look at all the skins, you know, on their workshop pages. You can still see that. It's not that fun, but it's a nice way of getting around things because, you know, we're mainly here for the subscriber counts. So I can still do comparisons. I've actually prepared for it. So I know what to do. I know what to compare to and whatnot. But yeah, don't be too alarmed. It's happened before. Give it a while. I'm sure it will get fixed fairly soon. Hopefully. So, okay, fair enough. Point made. Right then, let's hop back over to here and let's discuss the Island Assault Team Boots. So the best thing to compare to is the other skins in its collection. And well, last week we of course had the road sign gloves. First 24 hours of sales, that only did 8,100 subscribers, which was very impressive because that matched up very nicely with the tier 3, which also did 8,100 subscribers after the first 20 hours of sales. So boots clearly after the first 24 hours of sales have sold quite a little bit more. And of course, funnily enough, even though the gloves sold pretty much nearly the exact same number as the tier 3, it still ends up selling less, didn't it? And if you were to go ahead and take a look at Island Assault on the Steam market, so let's go ahead, you'll notice that the prices have been doing pretty nice at the moment. So yeah, all of this, give that a good look, and you'll see for yourself $6 there. You'll see for yourself over here $8.50, and even the brand new gloves. Yeah, there's 200 listings. It's $1.31. But if we keep seeing more skins being produced and accepted, and let me tell you, we are anticipating tier 2 this weekend. Just saying, we know it's happening. Yeah, things will still work out nicely. Why did this person think listing 55 was a good idea? I'll never know. That's the mystery of other people. Anyway, so everything's lining out quite nicely for that. But the boots, there is a concern. So hopping back over to here, if we were to compare to anything, I do believe the best thing we can compare to is the Bamboo Cage Small Box. There we go, 10,200 subscribers. Now this was very popular because it was like the first ever transparent small box skin we've ever seen, and you know, in theory you could hide it in the jungle and the forest and whatnot. Cool. A lot of people did jump onto that. And if we could just quickly go over to here and find that on the Steam market, Bamboo will remind you that this did 26,000 subscribers. Unfortunately, it's struggling. Considering the recent small boxes we've had being accepted, it's no longer that special anymore, is it? But yeah, 26,430 subscribers in total. Quite a lot. Now, obviously you might have noticed the boots did sell more than that in the first 24 hours of sales. So hopping back over to here, the main concern is, would the boots match up to the sales that the Tier 3 and the Roadstone gloves did? As of now, my estimate is it's looking like it's going to do between 23 to 26,000 subscribers. 6,000 more than the Tier 3 and about 8,000 more potentially compared to the gloves. Now that could be a difference of 3 or 6,000 difference. It's still looking like it's going to sell more. And funnily enough, if I go back over to here, see Steve, you can't read what he's saying. But if I scroll down a little bit more, oh, there you go, now you can read it. Yeah, he wasn't very happy. But you can also see what Mr. Victus is saying here. A lot of people don't even care about buying boots. Oh no. But he does bring a good point. If you were going to buy a full set, but you had to remove one thing, it's usually the boots, isn't it? So, okay, that's even more of a concern. I think a lot of people just instantly assumed, well, the Tier 3 worked out well, the gloves worked out well, surely the boots are going to work out well. And with the current rate of sales that's happening, I'm concerned. I am worried. I don't think that's going to be as nice compared to the other skins. Now, of course, Tier 2 hoodie and pants, if they get accepted afterwards, I'm still thinking the boots are going to bounce up nicely. It's just I don't think it'd be as good compared to the other skins. As we await the newer pieces to be accepted, the new core pieces, if that ends up being the one thing that sells a bit too much compared to all the others, that's going to get super cheap. There'll be a lot more of them listed on the Steam market. There will be a lot more listed on the third-party sites and whatnot. So be a bit concerned, be wary. If you're smarter about it, this is why we don't instantly jump in and buy skins. This is why we wait. I know it's not abnormal, and again, that's also a bit of a worry. But even then, I think it's pretty clear. You might be better off to stick with a buy order. So, okay, fair enough. 23 to 26,000 subscribers is the estimate. We'll see how it progresses. And just to remind you, you can go to micro522.com. It will be linked in the description. And as of now, it's got 14,000 subscribers. So what, we've got like 4 more days to go? 5 more? Yeah, 5 more. Oh, yeah, that's looking a bit worrisome, isn't it? Okay, fair enough. So let's hop back over to here and let's go ahead and take a look at the work crate. Now, I've got to be honest with you, with work crate being fairly similar with its sales, not very close, but somewhat reasonable, I think I'll just probably bundle it with the Island Assault Team boots. I'll have to keep it separate as a different chapter, but it's fairly close. And if I could quickly hop back over to here, looking at the sales for it right now. So work crate, where are you? I got to find you now. Because it wasn't originally called work crate. There you go, small workbox. See, that's only about 400, 500 subscribers off from there. I think that will also do between 23 to 26,000 subscribers. It's close enough where I'm thinking, yeah, we'll probably just accept it as a very similar number. Now, in regards to its design, are you always going to find it appealing? Now, obviously, I've shown this off much better when you can consider watching my Rust rotation video, just saying, chapters there. Also, all cool. But I was looking at it. I could see it potentially being pretty fun to try and hide. Like, you've got a lot of it missing there. About half of the actual box isn't even visible. But are people always going to notice it? Is it easy to spot? I mean, obviously, as time goes on, if it becomes a lot more popular, people instantly recognise it and whatnot. But I feel like this might open the door to a lot more similar designs. I can't help but assume you might see something very fun for Halloween and Christmas and whatnot. Someone said Santa's sleigh. Yeah, maybe a large box perhaps. We'll see. But that does look cool. I'm a bit worried. Small boxes as investments tend to be a little bit... And we are expecting a collection continuation. The skin creator has said he does intend to do a large box. So we'll see how it goes. But 23 to 26,000 subscribers might be a bit of a worry. That is abnormal. So, okay, we can do the barders, we can look at it afterwards, and then we can make some considerations. All right? So, all right, fair enough. Stinger Crossbow. Well then, this is a funny old one. So that did 9,700 subscribers almost. And whilst it was somewhat close to that, you'll find this funny when you hear my number suggestion. But looking at the other skins, trying to figure out what potentially might be an okay thing to consider comparing to, I looked at the Bone-Forged face mask. I also looked at the Heatseeker revolver because they were fairly close, not immediately close. But you might notice when we look at the subscriber counts and whatnot, it was pretty obvious that a lot of people waited to the last second and then jumped into the revolver, like I did. And yeah, you'll notice that actually ended up with more sales compared to the face mask. So let's go hop to it. Let's go do some comparisons. So goodbye Bamboo Cage and these three skins. Let's go say hello to Boneforged. And let's go say hello to the Heatseeker Revolver, to which I have already made a pretty cool looking video talking about that. That was uploaded a little bit earlier today. So, all right, cool. So, yeah, that's currently holding up quite nicely, but we're not here to look at that. We're here to look at the sales. That did just under 22,000 subscribers. Boneforged face mask, oh, not holding as much. Oh, dear. But the sales this got was 19,754. So, as I said, a lot of people like to wait till the last second to make a purchase, especially for something that's looking to be very in demand. In regards to the Stinger Crossbow, I kind of get the feeling that something very similar might happen. Now, in terms of what is the estimate, I think it's going to do between 19 to 22,000 subscribers. It might pick up more. Maybe it might push up to potentially even like 25,000 subscribers. The one thing, though, is that it's not abnormal. So, by all means, if you bought one for yourself, yeah, no, I wouldn't criticise that because it's awesome. The amount of extra vision you get for it, very, very, very helpful. It's just I am still somewhat concerned in regards to could there be something else like it afterwards? Because as of recent, that's not the only transparent crossbow I've seen. I saw recently the fish crossbow, and that looked phenomenal. To my surprise, the fish one wasn't accepted. But could it still be? And could we see similar designs being made now? Because, once Vase with his Heatseeker collection, once that got really popular, other skin creators were doing the same thing. They always could. But once they realised that Face Punch was being super lenient for it for a while, they had to jump on and do the similar thing, didn't they? And, well, this week we got both the Crossbow and the LR300 being transparent. Just saying. So, it's not just that, though. Twitch drops. Or stopping a content creator from thinking, you know what? I've noticed a lot of people do happen to like a transparent crossbow. I should go get a Twitch drop for that now. Keep an eye out. You never know. Ooh, it might be a concern because that's exactly what happened to the LR300. The Heatseeker LR300 came out for a solid few weeks. That was selling like hotcakes, selling for about $8 to $10. Then word got around that Silifers SAR, the upcoming Bellum Twitch drop, had the exact same aim sight. And I looked at it, compared, yes, and then I sold mine instantly. I'm sure you probably did as well. And yeah, look at how that turned out. $4 now. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, 19 to 22,000 subscribers for a crossbow might be quite a bit. We'll talk more about that on Wednesday night. We'll do the abnormal barders. Feel free to offer your own opinion in regards to whether that might be too much. But just to quickly remind all of you, Cargo Heli, yeah, that only did 13,500. But when that came out, 13,500 subscribers was a lot. So, just saying. No Mercy rocket launcher. So I looked at that. I tried to consider a nice comparison, and funnily enough, it was another Heatseeker skin, Heatseeker Python. So very similar in terms of about 8,500 subscribers each. Let's go take a look at that Python. So let's go take a look at Heatseeker again. I did not see. It's a lot more annoying. You really do appreciate SCMM when it works. Well, when it doesn't work, you appreciate it even more. Let me put it that way. So yeah, currently, right now, slightly down in price. Not too bad, only 2 stragglers. All right, cool. But we're here to look at the subscriber count, Hedge. Okay, yeah, sure. 20,200. So this was like the best thing to compare to. And you're going to find this funny. When you look at the description, where I always put the numbers in for the estimates, this is looking like the rocket launcher is going to probably do between 18 to 21,000 subscribers. We're slowly going down by like 1 and 1 and 1. So go take a look at this after the video and see that for yourself. But yeah, rocket launcher with that amount of sales, okay, fair enough. But let me just quickly look this up. Rocket launcher, yep. What's the most valuable ones? Because you might notice Antique is sitting there at about $3, $3.50. The Glory rocket launcher is selling for $3. That's white and black. That's all white. I was under the impression people would probably appreciate the No Mercy rocket launcher for the fact that you could probably use it with white out and No Mercy in the snowy biome, the tundra. But maybe you might rather just stick with that. Then again, how much is the how much is it selling for again? Well, just to quickly remind you, that is selling for $2.49. That is abnormal. 20,000 subscribers ish, 21. I am concerned. I think you're going to probably be better off sticking with a buy order, especially considering that earlier this year we've already had the Black Ops rocket launcher, we've had the Choco rocket launcher. It's not like we're desperate for new rocket launchers anytime soon. But one that's partly white could be a little bit different, could be a little bit more interesting, we'll see. But I wouldn't have my hopes super high, alright? Based on recent behaviour, I think you're just better off with a buy order. So we'll talk more about that on Wednesday night, when of course we're doing the abnormal barders. So let's move on. Let's talk about Temple Garage Door. Now, this has very similar sales compared to the backpacks, or bundle these together. So Garage Door and backpack, what's probably the best thing to compare to? Well, looking around, I did go with the suggestion of the Roadstone gloves from the previous week and the Island Assault Tier 3. So 8,100 here, and then of course over here 8,100. Now we've already talked about those. We know that the gloves did 18,000 subscribers, and the Tier 3 did almost 20,000 subscribers. So you're going to laugh at this. My suggestion was for the Garage Door and the backpack, 17 to 20,000 subscribers. It's only going down by one. But I did say this at the beginning. All these skins are selling very similar. Like the average sales for all of this is really good. So okay, fair enough. Temple Garage Door, I'm concerned for you. If you're going to end up doing between 17 to 20,000 subscribers, I can't help but assume it's going to fall off. So I would now go on SCMM and show you all the garage doors that came out this year, and you'll notice that all of them are in the red and whatnot, but all you see at the moment is blue, so sorry about that. But I'm sure you've heard me more than enough as of recent, and I've even made a video recently talking about the issues with the amount of garage doors we've seen being accepted. So if I hop over to here, I scroll down, and you will see me looking quite stressed out. There it is. Is there too many? Yes, there is, Hedge. And funnily enough, I made this video after we had about four jungle themed garage door skins being accepted. And they're all kind of like temple themed as well. Now we have another one. None of those garage doors are currently in the positive. They're all down by like half their price. So no, I don't have strong feelings for the garage door, I'm afraid. Now it's selling quite nicely, so props to the skin creator, Mr. Kosem, and chances are he'll probably make a nice collection continuation. That'd be cool. But at $3, no, that's going to go below $1.50. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Okay, fair enough. About the training backpack. If you're only going to do about maybe 17 to 20,000 subscribers, are you all right? Well, when I first did, looked at it, and I did some comparisons and whatnot, I did bring up the Legacy Kevlar backpack and the Blackout backpack. It does appear that black backpacks are being appreciated. Now, just to remind you, this did 55,000 subscribers almost. This did 24,000 subscribers almost. Legacy Kevlar backpack might be the better thing, but I'm sure you're fully well aware. Blackout collection, tons of skins accepted, all the clothing and armor pieces, strong demand, doing good. Even though that did an absolutely absurd amount of sales as time went on, because the demand was strong for it always. Whilst it did dip in price somewhat recently, as we went through the summer, as we approached and went through June, this did improve, but towards the end of June, there was a bit of a slump. And you can see that right over here. There you go. So yeah, spring wasn't very good. February, March, April, price was a bit, then in the lead up to June, it went up ever so nice. That ended up going back up into the positive again. But just to remind you, it did go down bad initially. But that was due to the excessive sales as well. So you should take that into consideration. But what I'm saying is, that was still in demand, people liked it. Now, Legacy Kevlar, very similar. Loads of skins accepted, all the clothing armor that you need and whatnot. This also managed to go back up to its restore price. So if I scroll down over to here, you'll see that that did rise up quite nicely. But even during bad times, it still slumped. So just to remind all of you, once again, training collection, it's got all the clothing and armor, you got a reasonable amount of skins there. It's gonna slot in nicely. I think it's gonna behave exactly like Legacy Kevlar. Yeah, you might be better off with a buy order, but just remember, initially it did slump for a bit, and of course, during bad times, it's gonna suffer. During good times, you should expect nice improvements. So okay, fair enough. Should be quite alright, I'm sure. But in terms of if I actually want to walk away and make a nice bit of profit for the training backpack, I think you're going to still want to stick with doing a barter. Might be $1 to $1.50. At the very least, it is abnormal. We can use the time to our advantage. Cool. So, alright, fair enough. Shouldn't worry too much. Lovely. Modern military sap, or the military sap. I was a fair bit concerned because with the amount of saps we've had so far this year, they're becoming a little bit less special, but they're still reliable and they still get used a lot. So, okay, fair enough. So that had 7,000 subscribers, and I did bring up how, that's the third lowest selling skin. It's already got 7,000 subscribers. So, okay, cool. But what are we going to compare to? Well, I was looking around trying to see if there's anything fairly similar in terms of sales, and I think the best thing we can compare to would be the Twisted Sheet Metal Double Door, which is right there. So that'll be a good few weeks back when that came out, and that ended up with, what, like 17,000 subscribers? So let's go ahead and remind ourselves. So here we are. Come on, don't be shy. I want to stare at you. Okay, come on, show me your face. Right, cool. Yep, that did just under 17,000 subscribers. Okay, cool. So, looking at the SAP, that amount of sales, that is more compared to the other SAPs we've seen this year. I do think that's going to end up being the highest selling SAP skin we've had this year. If I had SCMM working, I'd be able to confirm that. What I'm going to sit here and say is, you'd have seen it when we did the rust rotation video. Because we had quite a lot of SAPs accepted this year, and of course, when we had like May, when we had all the jungle theme skins and whatnot, 3 weeks in a row we got 3 SAP skins accepted. They're not doing super great. They're not doing terrible either. Quite a lot of them were down in price slightly, and a couple were kind of slightly up in price. Like all the SAPs from the previous year, they're all in the positive, but only up by about 20%. So for something like that, I do believe the military SAP will go below its trusted price, but I do not expect it to be down super bad. I don't expect it to be doomed. I think you could just walk away with a nice $1 to $1.50 barter, maybe a little bit cheaper. I won't be surprised if you pick up a bunch of these. It wouldn't surprise me. Yet we can anticipate some pretty bad times ahead of us once we go through the likes of September, October, November. That normally is how it usually plays out. But that right there, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. If you're really that concerned, just go with a lower price barter. My only other concern is it's not abnormal. It's a regular skin, so that's only going to become marketable when the rust rotates. So we'll have to talk more about that Wednesday night, looking at the sales then. But it doesn't seem super bad. I think we'll be reasonably okay. Okay, fair enough. So that I'm looking at, and I'm thinking that's going to do between 16 to 18,000 subscribers. Shouldn't be too bad. Should be pretty okay. Croco bolt action rifle. 5,000 subscribers. Kind of surprising, to be honest with you. I did talk about this. I did mention how it's not like we see tons of bolt action rifles all the time. So, Croco collection, unfortunately, consisting of 4 weapon skins. They're not doing super great at the moment. What was it? Double barrel shotgun. That's down by about half its price. The SAP is down about what, like 10%, and the AK is down by like 60%. Not good. Not good. No. So I am a little bit worried, but I don't think people are just gonna be disappointed in this because it's a Croco skin. I think they're disappointed in the other skins because, well, double barrel shotguns. People don't seem to appreciate them that much. AKs, there's far too many of them. And in regards to the SAP, it's only down by 10%. SAP skins in general, just said, they don't really go down super bad. So, okay, fair enough. Maybe that'll just behave like a typical bolt action rifle. But we can't judge that because we don't see them frequently. That's the concern. So, I'm looking at this Croco bolt action rifle. I tried to do a comparison. I looked around, saw what we could compare to, and I realised Coconut Bandana might be a pretty good shout. And I also considered the Nuke Room Fridge, because that had a very similar subscriber count. So, let's go over to here, and let's get rid of that happy face. We have to be serious now, so Coconut Bandana, yeah. I was just almost about to call it Bandano Night, I don't know. Nuke Room! Right, so I can confirm to you that the subscriber counts I'm seeing here for these two, they're not too high, with that sitting here at just over 12,000 subscribers and this sitting here at just under 11,000 subscribers. I've made some considerations, I've thought about it, and looking back at this bolt action rifle, I think that's going to do between 11 to 13,000 subscribers. That is looking like it's going to end up selling. Wait, oh, no, not you. Sorry. That is looking like it's going to sell less compared to the bolt action rifles we saw last year. And some of those didn't really look that much. They didn't come across as that super great. So, okay, fair enough. Not abnormal, though. Might be a bit of a concern. Might be a bit of a worry. We'll see how things pan out. But I think you could probably still walk away with a bit of profit if you did like a lower price buy order. Might be a situation where you consider 90 cents to $1.30, maybe even $1 to $1.50. We'll talk more about that Wednesday night. And then we have the Apocalypse Nomad LR300. Showcased it in my restoration video. Made a short video showcasing it as well. That's the lowest selling skin and has a transparent aim sight, pay to win aim sight. But it's an LR300. And I would, right about now, I'd hop over to SCMM. I'd make a huge fuss about how LR300s, all the skins, they're all down bad, unfortunately, because people don't appreciate the weapon itself. If people aren't using the weapon itself, where's the justification to own skins? You get the idea, we've been through this many times. But transparent pay-to-win aim sight, though. Surely that would help it stand out a little bit better, right? Well, judging by the sales at the moment, people just aren't too fussed about it. So if you were to do a comparison, what would you do? Well, funnily enough, you can go back and look at the cock weapons. Both the pump shotgun and the SAR, they also did 4,500 subscribers. So, okay, fair enough. Let's go ahead, take a look at those. So I'm going to go on the internet now and search for cock. What has become of me? Oh dear, oh dear. So, hopping over to here, we can see that this did just over 10,000 subscribers, and over to here we can see this did just over 11,000 subscribers. So a very straightforward answer would be 10 to 12,000 subscribers for our Apocalypse Nomad LR300. With the transparent aim sight, even then, I'm sure you've seen this yourself, Apocalypse Nomad. All of these skins you see right here, they're all down in the negative compared to their restore price. MP5 is a lot worse off because with the arrival of the Heatseeker MP5, yeah, it's a much better option. That suffered. And because the Heatseeker sold so much, this is struggling even more. People really don't want you, especially with the Heatseeker MP5 being a whole lot more approachable, considering that there's so many of them in the Steam market at a low price. So AK, that's been going up and down. Like, a lot of people weren't fully well aware of its transparency. A few content creators have used it here and there, and I've noticed the price bumping up every now and then. See that? Yeah. So that one's always been a bit of a funny one, but AK's obviously preferred a whole lot more compared to LR300s. So, oh dear, LR300s. I could look at all of them, but you won't be able to figure it out based on my currency. They're all pretty much in the negative. All the fairly recent LR300s over the past few years, they're not looking great. They are not. They're all down to close to around $1. So, unfortunately, I just don't have that much faith in the Apocalypse Nomad LR300. Yeah, for what it is, it's a perfectly fine, cool looking design, but not everybody appreciates that. I've had a lot of people sit there and say, "Oh, I don't like Apocalypse Nomad. It doesn't look nice. It looks ugly." Well, it's not supposed to look pretty. It's supposed to match up nicely with the Nomad Hazmat. I've had this rant already. People don't seem to appreciate the more battle-worn type of designs. They want to have lovely rainbow pony designs and whatnot, nice and shiny and colourful with glitter. Shut up. Anyway. But, yeah, no, it just isn't appreciated. It is abnormal. We'll chase after that on Wednesday night, but, yeah, we'll leave it till then. Okay, so once again, very sorry in regards to SCMM not working. Obviously, it would have been a whole lot more easier to perceive and understand everything, but I hope I've done a decent enough job. And at the end of the day, just look in the description. All the suggested estimates in regards to what the sales are going to look like, they're always put there, so it's up to you. But anyway, is there anything else we need to talk about? Is there anything we're concerned about? Well, I did allude to this. I did put this video up today. You're more than welcome to go give that a nice watch. But yeah, I talk more about my trust, my what's the word? What's the nice way of saying it? My confidence with revolver skins. I always sit here and say they tend to be very nice investments. Well, why? Well, there's a number of reasons, such as we just don't see that many being accepted every year. They tend to get used quite a lot. Yep, you'll see more people wanting to use a revolver apparently compared to an LR300. Obviously, if they were to fight each other, they'd still probably want to use the LR300. But based on how you slowly build up your base and whatnot, and the workbench, you're going to be using revolvers at some point. Okay, fair enough. And yeah, they just seem to be appreciated ever so nicely. I also whip out the more valuable revolvers. They're fairly old, but has anybody actually properly showcased them before? Well, this guy has. It's all chaptered. So, okay, cool. Fair enough. So, yeah. Let's hope SCMM does manage to fix itself and whatnot. But it is getting a little bit worrisome. It is getting a little bit concerning. So, just to remind you, you could go over to here to micro522.com, linked in the description. All you got to do is just go to the accepted part, and there you go. All the fairly recently submitted skins that were accepted, I can now look at all their subscriber counts. And Work Boots have gained an extra couple hundred subscribers. Oh no. Oh dear, oh dear. But yeah, you can see that. Unfortunately, it's every single skin that was accepted somewhat recently. So Isopram from the previous week, I can still see that. You could probably... No, you can't. No, I thought you could filter, but it's all based on submissions rather than acceptances. So, okay, fair enough. Right, so commits, keep an eye on them, because of course we have to keep an eye out for the new things that are being worked on. But we're already fully well aware the next main big thing is going to be the naval update, and that's probably not coming out until October. So, okay, fair enough. But keep an eye out. There's other smaller things. What about cows? Cows! What are they going to do about cows? Why cows? I don't know, but we'll find out. What are you going to be able to do with them? We don't know, but we'll keep an eye out. See, all right. Player count. I'm actually kind of disappointed. I thought July would be a whole lot more, a whole lot better, but it does look like the peak player count is going to be even less compared to the June Force White. Again, if you were to compare this to the previous year, it's better. Like, if I knew nothing about these months here, and I'm back in the summer of 2024, and I'm told, Hedge, the player counts for the summer, they're going to be even higher than this, I'd think, wow, that's amazing. I'm looking forward to next year. But there's some weird context behind the layout of this. It's stupid. It's silly. Yeah. I think we really needed a big content update, or rather Facepunch should have left the jungle update until June or July. Then you would have seen probably a lot more people turning up. But it is what it is. All right. I am hoping, in general, we're going to start seeing prices improve. Like, I still have about 90 of these mummy wraps. I'd obviously want to sell them for a better price. Right now, they're just about $11. They did slip for a bit. So let's just go ahead and look at these as of recent. Because there's one thing I have started to notice. Whilst prices have slipped and gone down, they're also starting to look like they're going back up again. So see how you see a little bit here going down. Oh no, I'm sad. But now it's starting to go back up again. Hopefully we see that happening a lot more prominently of all the other skins. Last year, most skins did reach a nice peak in price around July and August time rather than June. So we'll see. But the other way you're going to be able to, keep track of everything is if you keep an eye on your inventory. Now, on this account, I put some sales up, but I thought, you know what? I'm not going to remove these. I'm just going to leave them be, right? And if they sell, they sell. But that's also a good indicator that prices are improving. And I have sold a couple more. So, okay, fair enough. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if it works out nicely. But, yeah, hopefully things do improve. I'm not too far off from being able to do bars in this account again. But I was hoping I'd be able to fill up all of my accounts by the end of the summer. And I have barely even filled up one. So, yeah. We'll see if things improve. So, that's it. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Once again, if you're looking for the estimates, if you've forgot them, look at the description. It's all written there. And yeah, hopefully this gets fixed, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, so catch you later. See you, goodbye.